Assalamu alaikum dear students, hope all of you are fine. Today we are going to start a new chapter, fourth chapter of your book Heredity and Evolution. Let's move towards the wonderful branch of the biology, that is heredity and evolution. You will see a new world of biology here. I hope you will really enjoy it. Let's start. Heredity. What do we mean the term heredity? Heredity is simply defined as the transmission of characters. Characters here means resemblances as well as similarities. Resemblances as well as similarities or another differences. I repeat, the first term which we are going to study in the chapter is simply heredity. What do we mean by the heredity? Heredity is defined as the transmission of resemblances, similarities and differences from parent generation to the new generation, from parent generation to the new generation of a particular species, That means heredity is just transfer of resemblances or similarities. Similarities means similar things which are common in parent generation as well as the new generation. And another thing, there is also transmission of differences, not only common things or similar things, but there is also transfer of differences, that is simply uncommon things which are different in parent organisms and in new organisms or offsprings. Both these are transferred from parent to the offsprings. That branch of biology is called as heredity. Heredity is defined as the transmission of characters. Characters means resemblances and differences from parent generation to the new generation, from parents to the offsprings, or from parent cell to the daughter cell. As we are already gone through the process of reproduction, how it takes place, what are the types, asexual reproduction as well as sexual reproduction. In both the cases you will see there is DNA copying and there is actually transmission of that information through DNA copying from parent to the offspring, from parent cell to the daughter cell. Same, that process is called as heredity. Heredity is defined as the transmission of characters, that is resemblances as well as differences from parent generation to the new generation of a particular species. Fine. Then the another term which we are going to see here is variations. Variations I already told you in the previous chapter are the differences which we see in a new generation and parent generation of a specific species. Like we discussed it in the last chapter, that I am exactly like my parents and at the same time I am different from my parents. How I am different? You will see there are some differences, like there is change in color, there is change in color of hair, change in color of eyes, there is change in size of hands, there is change in shape of nails. These are small differences which are different from my parents, and those differences are simply called as variations. And the branch of science which deals with the study of heredity as well as variations is called as genetics. The term was introduced by the scientist William Bateson in 1906. Term genetics was introduced by William Bateson in 1906, and genetics is the branch of biology that deals with the study of both heredity as well as variations. That means genetics deals how characters are transmitted from parent organism to the new organism, as well as it also deals with the study of variations that occur between the two generations of a particular species. This is the wonderful field of biology. which we are going through in this chapter. Fine? Okay, let's go with the another term, characters. Characters or character. In case of genetics, what is character or what are characters? Character or characters, simply the features of an organism. Simple. What are the features present in an organism, whether in male or female? Like if I see my features, external features, these are, I have 2 arms, I have 2 legs, I have 2 hands, I have 2 eyes, etc., etc. My eye color is brown, my hair color is black. All these are external features. There are also internal features as well, and simply we call these features possessed by an organism, particular organism, as characters. As characters. Like if we see in plants, any plant, height is a character. Height is a character. Even height of myself, it's also character. Height of you, your parents, this is a character. Simple, any feature possessed by an organism, living organism, is character. Now another term which we use is trait. Is trait or traits. What is trait? What is the difference between character and trait? Are character and trait same? No. Trait is actually a form of character. Trait is actually a form of character. That means if character is, for example, height. Height can be tall, it can be dwarf. Height can be tall, it can be dwarf. Tall and dwarf are traits of character, and that character is height. Same, another example of character I will give, eye color. Eye color is character, but its forms, it can be blue, it can be black, it can be brown, it can be brownish black, it can be bluish black, or any other combination. These colors, brown, black, blue, these are traits, form of the character, which we call as trait or traits. That means trait is defined as the different forms of character. Example, if we have an eye color, this is the character. Then what are its traits? Traits are, it can be black eye color, it can be blue eye color, it can be brown eye color, or any other color. These are the traits. Same if you see in plants, flower. Flower is the reproductive part of plant. Flower color. Flower color is character. Flower color is character. But it had its traits. What are those? It can be blue color, it can be yellow, it can be white, or it can be red. Depending upon the plant. We are studying, we are observing. Same plant will have different characters, and those characters will show number of traits. I hope you got the difference between characters and traits, or character and the trait. Now in genetics, how we are simply representing these traits, how we are simply representing these traits are represented by 2 terms. One we call as phenotype and another is called as genotype. Phenotype and genotype. The term phenotype simply means external physical characteristics of an organism. External physical characteristics of an organism. Like we are, simple examples I have already told, height of an organism, shape of an organism, then size of hands, shape of nails, eye color, hair color. In case of plants, plant height, then size of flower, color of flower. If you see the vegetable plants like pea plant, color of the pod, size of seeds, color of seeds, shape of seeds. These are the characters, but which we are visualizing with our naked eyes. These are external characteristics of an organism, living organism. Simply the combination of external features, external characteristics of a living organism is called as phenotype. Fine. The height is a phenotype, color of eyes is a phenotype, shape of seed is a phenotype, color of seed is a phenotype. Different examples you can take. This is just external makeup of an organism, simple external characteristics, external makeup of an living organism. Fine. Then what is the genotype? Genotype means how this character is present in an organism. What is the behind story about this character? How this character is present in that living organism, whether animal, human being or plant. We have for that purpose in our cells genetic material which possess DNA, or we can simply call it as genes. That means genotype is genetic makeup of an organism. Genetic makeup of an organism or genetic composition of an organism that governs different phenotypes. There will be presence of a phenotype like height of an organism, but how this height is determined in that organism? It's determined by a particular DNA segment, by a particular gene present for the height. Then how it determines that phenotype, it is secondary question, but there will be presence of a particular genotype for a particular phenotype. That means height, if it is a phenotype, there will be presence of a particular gene for the height, due to which height can be tall or it can be dwarf. Fine. And this genotype is represented by simply using English alphabets. Like we have A, B, C up to Z. We can use any type of English alphabet to represent the genotype. For example, height is a phenotype. It is a character, fine, external character which we call as phenotype. Then its traits are tall and its trait, another one is dwarf. These are the two traits. Some of the characters can have two traits, some have 4, some have 5, some have 6. Depends what is the character. How we are going to represent this trait now? Its genotype will be represented by an English alphabet T. T. That means height is tall. Fine. Then how we are going to represent the another trait of same character? It will be represented by same English alphabet, but this time this will lowercase. This will be in lowercase. Small t. You can take another alphabet as well. For example, if you represent tall TT, you can represent dwarf by DD. But for convenience, for understanding, we use same alphabet but in lowercase, so that we will get differentiated. That this trait is representing the tall, this genotype represents tall, and this trait as genotype is representing dwarf. Otherwise, you can use any alphabet, A, capital A, small a, or you can also use capital A and capital D. But convenience, and there is a terminology in this field, genetics, for that purpose we are using same alphabet but in the lowercase. Fine. That means phenotype is the external combination, external physical features of an organism, and genotype will be the genetic makeup, genetic composition of that organism, and particular phenotype will be determined by a particular genotype. Yes, or we can see like this, genotype determines a particular phenotype. A particular genotype will determine the particular phenotype. It will be specific. For height, it will possess its own genotype. For color of eyes, it will possess its own genotype. Fine. Now, I will take the same trait genotype TT. You will see this is the gene or genotype for height, trait, tall. Fine. Now, it's both forms. This is one form, this is the second form. This is the first form and this is second form. They are in same case, capital case. Or we have another one, this one and this one. Again, these are in same case, that is lower case, small t. When Actually, if you remember, when there is the fusion of gametes, male gamete and female gamete, there is actually fusion of one copy of DNA or chromosomes from male parent and fusion of another copy of chromosomes or DNA from female parent. Same, a particular genotype will possess one copy from mother and another copy from father. It applies to every human being, it applies to every animal. One of the copy will be coming from the mother and another copy will be coming from the father. This gene is for the trait tall. Its one copy is from father, its another copy is from mother. When both the forms, both the copies of a gene are in same form, that condition is called as homozygous. That condition is called as homozygous condition. Fine. Gene is formed by, one gene is simply formed by two copies. One copy is coming from each parent, male parent as well as female parent. And when both the copies of gene or when both the kinds of gene are in same form, we call that condition as homozygous condition. This is also homozygous condition. Yes, this is also homozygous condition. What is the another condition? Another condition we can have like this, capital H, small h, or we will take the same, capital T, small t, capital T, small t. This is one copy of gene from father, this is another copy of gene from mother. Both the copies are not in same form. When the two copies or the two kinds of gene or the two forms of gene are in different forms, that condition is called as heterozygous. That condition is called as heterozygous condition. Fine. That condition is called as heterozygous condition. That means genotype can be homozygous or it can be heterozygous. Genotype can be homozygous or it can be heterozygous. Heterozygous simply means when two copies, two forms of gene are not in the same form, and homozygous means when both the copies, both the forms of a genotype are in same form. Now, you will see when there is the combination like this, capital H and small h, sorry, not capital T, or capital T, small t, what will happen? Simple. Here you will see one of the copy of gene dominates another copy. One of the copy of gene dominates another copy. The form of gene that dominates the another form is called as dominant. And the copy or the form of gene which is suppressed is called as recessive. Fine. That means when there is the heterozygous condition, these two forms of genes are actually in dominant form as well as recessive form. Dominant is simply that form of gene which simply suppresses the expression, suppresses the role of another copy of gene, and that form of gene which is suppressed is called as recessive, and this one is called as dominant. But remember one thing, dominance and recessive concept is actually valid for heterozygous condition, because when there will be homozygous condition, both forms of DNA are simply, both forms of gene are simply expressing themselves. But when it is heterozygous condition, one form of DNA expresses its role and another form of DNA or gene is not able to express. Why? Because it's simply dominated. It is suppressed by the dominant form, and this form is called as recessive form. Dominance and recessiveness is valid for the heterozygous condition. This is the first introductory lecture regarding the topic heredity and evolution. First, I simply started with the simple what do we mean by the heredity, which we called as transmission of characters from parent generation to the new generation of a particular species. Then I told you about variations. Variations are simply the differences seen between the two generations, parent generation and the new generation of siblings, or between siblings and their parents, that are also variations. And the branch of science which deals with the study of both heredity as well as variations is called as genetics. The term genetics was simply coined by the scientist William Bateson in 1906. Then we started with the two aspects, phenotype and genotype. Phenotype simply defined as the external physical characteristics of an organism. Genotype simply defined as the genetic composition of a particular organism, genetic makeup of that organism. And both phenotype and genotype are very important, because particular genotype determines particular phenotype, or particular phenotype is determined by a particular genotype. Then representation of genotype is usually by using simple English alphabets. Like we have a character height, its traits are tall and dwarf. Then tall is represented by the English alphabets in higher case, and dwarf is represented by the English alphabets in lower case. Simple. Then afterwards we went through the homozygous condition and heterozygous condition. Homozygous condition simply means when the two forms of gene are in same form, are in same type, called as homozygous condition. And when the two forms are the two copies of gene are in different forms, we call that as heterozygous condition. Fine. And then in case of heterozygous condition, we have dominance and recessiveness. Dominant form is simply the form of gene which express itself by suppressing the another form, which is suppressed form is called as recessive form, This dominance and recessiveness is simply valid for heterozygous condition. And I also defined the term character. Character is simply external feature of an organism which can have different forms that we call as traits. Clear? I hope it's clear. Lastly, the father of genetics, or you can say the father of classical genetics, is Gregor Johann Mendel. Gregor Johann Mendel. He is regarded as the father of genetics or father of classical genetics. And the father of modern genetics is simply regarded as Morgan. Is regarded as the father of classical genetics. This was all about today's lecture about this wonderful field of biology, genetics. Next time we will go further in the same field. I hope you are enjoying and you will enjoy in future too. Till then, stay safe, stay good. Thank you.